this is the rig I've set up here. It's like a wavy wriggle effect. And we've got a few different parameters here. This one is offsetting the time. And you can just kind of create a few different effects by tweaking that. The count, so we can obviously simplify that and increase it to whatever we want. This is the speed, so we can crank that up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And what else have we got? And this is just like the how fine or how large the actual ripples are. And that is going to offset the height of them. But yeah, it's quite a cool little rig. I like being able to promote some of those attributes into the control center and just see what comes up. It's yeah, it's a fun little thing to play with. So there's definitely a few quirks with this rig as well, but I'm just going to run through with what I've got so far, and hopefully it's a starting point for some of you to just push it a little bit further and just refine it as well. Like, I understand this isn't perfect, but hey, it's just a starting point. Okay, so we're just going to start off with a basic polygon shape, and the sides are 3 because we were dealing with a triangle. I've had success using this technique using capsule shapes as well if you wanted to have a rounder end. So division's 30, and I've also put in a line deformer so that the pivot's at the top. So now we're just going to add our oscillator and click on use normals, and I'll just bring this up a little bit. So if we hit play now, you can see that it's coming down here, but it's coming up here. What we want is for everything just to come down as if it's streaming back. So we're going to have to put a fall off on one side of our animation, and then we'll hit reverse the time for another oscillator on the other side. So we'll just add our fall off. And in this instance, I'm just going to be using a rectangle just because I found it relatively easy to do. So change the size of it here. Don't change the scale of it. It's just gonna, it might stuff up on you later on. So now I'm just going to duplicate this. So I'm just going to bring this fall off over the other side here. And what we've also got to do is plug our left parent into the deformer. Cool. And we still have the issue. That's because we've got to separate and reverse the time. So what I'm going to do is just have a separate frame node. That way I can adjust the speed of it. I'm just going to disconnect that and add my own frame node. I'm going to change the strength to -100. And then I can just change the offset here a little bit. And you've got them synced up. And you've got them synced up. Okay, so now I'm going to use this value here to drive just the time scale. So that means basically if I speed this up, they both speed up. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to link my minimum, maximum, and my frequency from my left parent into my right. Minimum, maximum, and frequency. So that means, as you would have guessed, if I want to change these, it's just going to mirror both sides now. On our main shape, we also want the radius to stagger out. So just right click on that radius, and we're just going to add a stagger onto the width. And we're going to start well above 0, and we'll just bring that out to 900 or so. We'll promote all these attributes here into our control center as well, so it's easily animatable. Animatable is a funny word, so it's easy to animate. I pretty much think that's it. We've got our color array piped in here as well. And now we're just going to add that into a duplicator. The distribution type to a point. Add a few of these, and also going to have to jump back into our radius width and click on the graph again and flip it. And that's pretty much the effect we're looking for. Cool. Just to clean that up a bit, you can see some of the edges are a bit rough. Also, if you have nothing selected, you can just hit F and it'll frame everything. So now I'm just going to go back into my deformers, add a subdivide. I'm just going to change it to a 1 or a 2. And I'm also going to add a flare. And for the start stretch, I'm just going to bring that down a bit so it's just a little bit tighter at the top there. If you wanted to, you could also promote some of these attributes. You're cool. Okay, so let's quickly just promote some of these attributes. The key one in the duplicator is going to be the count, so just add to control center. And oscillator left, add to control center, add to control center, add to control center. And the key one with the time is the value, add to control center. I've got two oscillators here, and I'm just going to put a stagger into the shape time offset down here. This probably isn't the best way of doing it, but what are you going to do? So I'm just going to do negative 25, positive 25, and I can increase that to get that offset effect. There's a few little things in there that I'd probably still tweak, but I just think that the effect with that offset and just that kind of flow kind of has some kind of semi 3D effect going on there. Cool. Thanks for watching. I hope that wasn't too painful and that you picked up a few little things.